The diner was buzzing with the late evening crowd, the kind of place where the smell of coffee, bacon, and rain-soaked jackets mixed into something oddly comforting. Behind the counter, Emma, a 23-year-old waitress, worked her usual double shift. Her tired smile never faded, even when her shoes squeaked and her feet ached. She needed this job. Her mom's medical bills weren't going to pay themselves. Then the door swung open, loud and arrogant. A group of teenagers walked in, their designer clothes and diamond watches flashing under the neon lights. At the center was Blake, the rich kid everyone in town knew. Spoiled, reckless, and untouchable because of his father's money. "Table for 5, he said, smirking. Emma led them to a booth and handed out menus. She greeted them politely, but her kindness only seemed to feed his ego. He looked at her name tag and grinned. "Emma," he said mockingly. "How much you make an hour? $10? Must be hard, serving people like us." His friends laughed. Emma kept calm, took their orders and walked away with dignity. But when she returned with their drinks, Blake deliberately stuck his foot out, tripping her. The tray tipped, soda spilling across his designer jacket. He stood up, furious. Not because he was hurt, but because someone dared to embarrass him. "You're useless," he snapped, wiping his shirt. And then, in a moment of arrogance and cruelty, he spat right in her face. The diner went silent. Forks froze midair. Emma just stood there, humiliated, trembling, trying not to cry. But she didn't see the group of men sitting quietly at the back corner. 50 leather-clad bikers, their jackets emblazoned with a familiar skull and wings emblem. Hell's Angels. Their leader, a burly man with a silver beard named Reed, set down his coffee. He exchanged glances with his crew, then slowly stood up. The air grew heavy. Blake turned, his smug grin fading as the floorboards creaked under the weight of 50 boots moving toward him. Reed stopped right beside Emma. "You all right, sweetheart?" he asked gently. She nodded, her voice too shaky to respond. Then he turned to Blake. "Son," he said, calm but cold. "Where I come from, men don't treat women like that." Blake laughed nervously. "Look, man, it was just a joke." Before he could finish, Reed took a step closer, his presence alone enough to make the teen's confidence crumble. "You think it's funny to humiliate people who work hard? That girl's got more backbone than you'll ever have." One of the bikers leaned in. "You better apologize before this place forgets what peace feels like." Blake's friends had already slipped out the door. Left alone, he swallowed hard, realizing the situation wasn't in his control anymore. His arrogance vanished. He turned to Emma, eyes filled with fear and shame. I'm sorry," he stammered. "I didn't mean to." But Emma simply wiped her face, nodded once, and whispered, "Just don't treat anyone like that again." Reed placed a gentle hand on her shoulder. "You handled that better than most," he said, before walking his crew back to their corner. As Blake hurried out into the night, the diner slowly returned to life. The hum of conversation started again, softer this time. Emma took a deep breath, still shaken but grateful. A few minutes later, she found a small envelope by the coffee pot. Inside was a handwritten note. "For the toughest lady we've met all year. Keep your head high." And next to it, 5 crisp $100 bills. Emma looked toward the corner where the bikers had been, but the seats were empty. The roar of motorcycles echoed outside, fading into the distance. She smiled, not because of the money, but because, for the first time that night, she felt seen. The world wasn't all cruel, after all. Sometimes even the roughest souls carried the biggest hearts.